Welcome to another Self Love Sunday. I'm your host, Namibia, on this self love journey. This is the podcast where we talk about love, healing, self care, and information for inspiration. Before we get started, please like, share, and subscribe to the Self Love Journey with Namibia YouTube channel and join us on Facebook in the group Self Love Sundays. Let's get started.
Today is episode 6, and we are unpacking this book, Identity Switch by April Mason. If you didn't get an opportunity to get this book, please get it. It is a quick and easy read, but it is very insightful. I'm not going to go through the entire book. I am just going to highlight just the first chapter, a couple things, and the book is pretty easy to read. Like I said, it has about 11 chapters, a little bit over 100 pages, and it ties right into the self-love journey that I'm taking, and hopefully you can gather something from it too. So the subtitle is Becoming the Woman Who Gets What She Wants. So that is very interesting indeed. So it's all about manifesting what you want. And the self-love journey kind of started for me as it starts for a lot of people, is that you are in a place that, well, I was in a place that I was not satisfied where I was, with how in a relationship and just where I wanted to be with my goals. And so there's a saying is that if not happy with your situation, then you have to change it. You can't change the people around you, so you change yourself. Okay, so that requires digging in deep and self-reflection. And just like in this book, the first chapter, believe it or not, is the mindset. So everything that we do, it all begins with a thought. It all begins with our mind. And if you're not happy with a situation, first of all, to change our whole mindset. And that's what it took with me, and that's what I'm working on right now. So there's a thing, and another book that I like, one of my favorite books, is called The Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. That's one of the books I've read over and over again. And that kind of ties into this too, and I'm going to talk about that. So you have, your conscious mind, things that you are, that are relevant, that you think about, that, you're cognizant of, that you know of. And then there's that subconscious mind where it's things that you may not be aware of, but still influences the way that you think. Okay. So your subconscious mind, or maybe programmed by your childhood experiences, things that happen to you um, with your family and schools, and beliefs in that way. Um, to say, for example, for me, like as a child, and first of all, as children, they come into the world, they're innocent, and they're so impressionable. That's why it's very important that we speak life to our children, that we say positive things, because they take it with it becomes a part of them. So if you tell a child that they're stupid, or that they don't look good, that their hair is because their hair is kinky, that it doesn't look good, then they take that in. Children take that in, and a lot of times become adults who believe that negative talk, or they think that because your skin is lighter that you're a certain way, or your skin is darker that you're a certain way. You start believing those types of things, and even though you may not say that you do, it becomes a part of your fabric of your being. So it's very important that we speak life into, like I said, our children, into other people. So everything comes from the mind. Going back to the subconscious mind. So we end up adopting and believing things that our parents tell us or that are, and it's okay if the parents tell you it's good, bad, or indifferent. Let's say if it's something good, and your parents say that you can do, you 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 can do it, and then the child will believe that they actually can do it and will go forth without fear. So, what you feed people with the words is very important. Okay, if you tell somebody something positive, and after a while they start believing, especially young people will believe that. You know, um, your mind can prevent you, can create a roadblock that is not there. You know, this false roadblock by building up fear and doubt. So, going back to the love journey, everything comes from the mind. Everything starts with a thought. So that's where this book, starts off. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's going on here. And once again, you can get this book, Identity Switch, from Amazon, and I believe it's like about $10 or $12, something like that. And it's a like I said, a quick read. I kept it in the bathroom. You read in the morning, read in the evening. So, to first, if you decide that you need to make a change, on your journey, I've decided that I need to make a change, and you have to decide on what feeds your spirit, what makes you feel good about yourself, and do that. I was in a situation where I was around people who I did admire. However, for the accomplishments that they did, however, um, there was a lot of negative talk, and whether you engage in that negative talk or not, just being around it kind of like brings your spirit down, whether you know it or not. So engaging in or being around gossip or being around someone who belittles other people or belittles you, um, that doesn't feed the spirit. That doesn't feed the spirit. So it's important to, on a self love journey, to limit, if you can't, just remove people who are negative in your life, to limit your time around those people, to build network with people who make you, encourage you. And I was fortunate enough to meet quite a few people during this journey just recently who are supportive, who encourages me, and that's important. And then we in turn encourage each other, kind of like an accountability partner. And that is so important to have somebody like that or some people like that in your corner. To have somebody to say that you can do it. It kind of reminds me of you know, I have a little granddaughter, and take pictures of her, and just kind of like my grandmother used to take pictures of me and tell them, "Girl, you look good in that. You wearing that color. Go ahead, get it." And then you see the babies, they start posing and smiling and what have you, and you build up that confidence. Having someone that encourages you is very important. So, to another point I underline, and it says, you will not become the best version of yourself without understanding your current state. So, understanding where you are right now and what your triggers are will help you with reprogramming and resetting yourself for your journey. Um, we talked about in one episode about forgiveness, and that's all a part of it with the mindset. One thing I underlined here is once I understood what was going on, I knew I had to forgive people I would never receive an apology from. So the forgiveness, like we talked about before, is not for the other person, it's for you. The forgiveness is for you, for your peace of mind, to let that go, let that negativity go, so you can move on with something, and get something better, and get your blessing. Another point I want to share with you, it says, only we can decide how we allow challenges to affect us, right? So at this point right now, if you feel like someone has hurt you, you feel like someone has stopped you from becoming what you want to do or what you want to be, you know right now that you have the power to overcome that challenge. You have the power. Remove yourself from that person. If there's something that you always wanted to do, align yourself with people who are already doing that. Research and find out as much as you can about that topic and immerse yourself in it. And don't feed into any doubt. Don't feed any doubt. Like, I never believed that I would be here doing a podcast or talking to people. That's not my thing. But however, I'm here. I'm doing it. I'm also writing about it. I never thought that I would. Always wanted to become an author, but that was like a far-fetched thought. But now I am. I've become an author. Not only that, I help other people publish books, and that's something that was a lifetime accomplishment for me, and I feel very proud to be able to help people, experience the thing that I experienced by, writing a book. So there's some questions that we need to ask ourselves as we go on this journey. Some questions that we need to really dig deep. Is that in with the mindset? So if you say you want a better life, do you really believe it wholeheartedly? Sometimes we say we want better for ourselves, but do we really believe that we even deserve better? Now, if you're saying that you want better, but then you don't believe you deserve better, you're canceling that out. So that's how you're saying it. So that's the conscious mind. But then in your heart, you don't believe it. That's the subconscious, and that's what cancels it out. So how do you move from the disbelief? That's where the affirmations come in. And at the end of each episode, we say these affirmations, and it's like reprogramming yourself. And instead of taking out those should statements, I should have did this, I should have written this book. Pick up the should and say, I am writing this book. I am an author. And then do the steps to make you become an author by starting with writing. If you believe it, imagine yourself, imagine your book on that bookshelf, because it can happen. Imagine you owning the business that you want. Get with people who have businesses. There's small business conference coming up. Go to things like that. Here's another question. Who had the most influence on my childhood and beliefs? Who? Well, for me, it was a lot of people. I was raised by my grandparents, primarily my grandparents. Um, and then part of my parents were not married. So part of my time I spent with my grandparents, most of my time with my grandparents, sometimes with my mother, and then sometimes with my father. So it was split between, and each of them play a significant role in my life. And I really realized that because I moved between the three households, as a child, I was that person who wanted to make sure that everybody was happy. So I wanted to make sure that my mom and papa, my grandparents are happy, that my dad was happy with me, that my mother was happy with me. And so I took that into my adulthood, where I wanted to please make sure that people were happy, even if it was where I wasn't happy, where my needs weren't met. And so it's okay to be helpful to people, and but you can't make someone happy. If somebody is not happy, they're miserable, then you can't make them happy. It's like an impossible job. So the only thing you can do enhance the state of happiness, or um, offer assistance, um, to uh, just be there as a support for them. But you can't make somebody happy, especially if they're determined not to be happy. Okay, so that people pleasing part is kind of self defeating, and took me. I'm about 46 now. It took me a long time to figure that out. That I can't make someone else um, happy. So another question. Let's unpack this book. All right. Ask yourself. Okay. Do I default to negative thinking when something goes wrong or right? Now, using the word can't, no, never, couldn't, um, those, of course, are negative words. And anytime you think that you can't do something, you're programming your subconscious that to block it, to block it. So we want to make sure that we speak positivity, that you can do it, that you will do it, that you are doing it, instead of saying that you're trying. Hey, Wanda, how you doing? Yes, self-defeating, absolutely self-defeating. We don't want to defeat ourselves. First of all, that is not self-love. You love yourself. Why are you talk down to yourself? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? This, um, this young children, they believe until someone tells them other, excuse me, until someone tells them other, they believe that they can do it. Thank you, sis. Thank you. So we definitely want to speak life. Words are powerful. Words can build up people, and they can tear them down as well. So when you start using those words, that negative talk words, you gotta switch it. We have to switch that. Another thought: how do I respond when people challenge my beliefs? Okay, me right now, if you don't believe what I believe, okay, that's fine. You believe what you want to believe. If you believe that the sky is green and that whatever, then the sky is green for you. Okay. I am not going to argue with you. You go ahead, because I don't have the time or the energy to argue or trying to convince anybody of anything. So um, don't let someone deter you. If you believe that you want to start a business, like there was a sister who I just saw recently, and she was talking about during the pandemic that she wanted to do a small business expo. And shout out to Sister Waters, Latasha Waters, for doing that. And she believed that she could do it, and she did not listen to any self-defeating talk. And the next thing you know, I see a post that is happening. And I'm so very proud of her that I honestly believe that we can do whatever we put our mind to it, as long as we have a good intention and that we stay focused. It may take you longer than you anticipate, but it may take you even shorter. Or you might even get something grander than you ever expected, but you stay on the course. So don't fall into that negative talk. Please do not do that. Okay. And do your best to get a accountability partner, get a friend that is on the same plane as you. I have girlfriends that say, "Girl, look, you could do this." Even sometimes I get in my bag, I'm like, "Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna do nothing." But go ahead and do it. And because I was only going to do the Self Love Journey podcast 4 times, and here I'm on episode 6. I was only going to do it for February, but here I'm doing it again and sharing, because I'm continuing on this journey, and I'm hoping and praying that what I say and what I'm going through, that it resonates with you, and that it helps you as well on your journey. So next question. What do I have limiting beliefs about? That's something to think about on your own. What is limiting you? What is holding you back from becoming the person that you want to be? Think about that. Another question to think about, do I wonder what if all the time? What if I did this? What if I did that? I saw a post somebody had on their story, and it said, well, what if I win? What if you win? What if you become successful? How about that what if? And go and do it. Because more than likely you will. And you have to think about this. Am I afraid of success? Sometimes we are. Sometimes growth is uncomfortable. It hurts. Like one of my favorite grades I taught was third grade, and third graders always have aches and pains because they're growing fast. They're like, oh, this hurts. Oh, this is growing pains. It's growing. It hurts. You're stretching. Your bones, are growing. So growth is uncomfortable, and sometimes that uncomfortability is needed to push and propel us to where we need to go. So don't be afraid of success. Be grateful. Be grateful for the opportunity. Be grateful and just thankful. So believe that you can. I'm going to leave you with this. Believe that you can do it, and believe that it's already going to happen, and just be grateful for it. And then you'll see things start to change in your life. I'm going to look at some of my notes that I have here, make sure I covered everything that I wanted to say to you. So once again, only went over the first chapter of this book. Next week, we're going to talk about a little bit with the next chapter. It's called Femininity, and how that deals with becoming the woman that we want to be. All right, like I said, this book is available on Amazon, and you can actually, if you have Prime, you can get it before next Sunday and start reading up the first and second chapter and be there with us with this book. Or if you don't get it, just join in anyway. Okay. So just want to remind you that everything comes from the mind. Everything starts with your mindset. Program your mind, but with positive affirmations. Leave the negativity out. Don't surround yourself with people who are positive, who are in support of your journey and that encourages you to do the right thing. Stay away from negative talk, gossip. All of that is counterproductive when it comes to the self-love journey. Um, Messages that happen as we were a child, negative messages from family members or from teachers or from people like young people, children growing up. We need to reprogram that. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Um, regardless, remember, regardless, good or bad, the subconscious mind does not know the difference. It just believes and just goes ahead and it just believes whatever you tell it. So if you think that you can do it, then you are attracting that energy to help you get things done. If you believe that you can't do it, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe that you can't, then you can't. Basically, that's it. If you believe that you can't, then you can't. If you believe that you can, then you can. That's all. That's all to it. And I want to leave you with 3 affirmations, and these affirmations are um, phrases of encouragement. You can say these over and over to yourself or have your own. The first one is, I achieve whatever I set my mind to do. Again, I achieve whatever I set my mind to do. Second one, I am worthy enough to follow my dreams and manifest my desires. I am worthy enough to follow my dreams and manifest my desires. Last one, I am blessed to have everything in my life to make it successful. I am blessed to have everything in my life to make it successful. Okay, thank you again for joining me here on a self love journey. I look forward to talking to you next week about femininity. Please like and share on the channel, YouTube channel, Self Love Journey with Namibia, and tell a friend. Thank you again. All right, take care.